Welcome to worship with the Universalist Unitarian Church of Peoria. My name is the Reverend Jennifer Innis. It is my great joy to be the minister with this congregation of people of all ages at all stages of life. This is a beloved community striving to live into its mission of embracing freedom, loving wholeheartedly, adding to the wholeness and the healing of the world, and growing in mind, body, and spirit. We welcome people of all ethnicities and races, sexual orientation and gender identities, social and economic situations, politics, abilities, all of the above. We advocate for human rights, and we strive to be good stewards of this earth. In living our mission, we recognize the deep network of a relationship of which we are a part. This is the ancestral home of the Peoria people. They and many other nations were here long before the first European settlers came down the Illinois River. So we take a moment, as we have been asked to do, to recognize the Peoria people for who they were and for who they are today. I want to thank folks for joining us in person and online. We recognize how powerful it is to come together, how big of a choice it can be to come into a community of established people and wonder, where do I fit in? And so we are welcoming everybody. Help us get to know you. We like all the questions. Come and ask us. You never know. You'll probably get more than one answer, but come and ask us and see what happens. And I invite everybody to stay for coffee and conversation in Fellowship Hall after the service, or also on the Zoom if you're joining us online. Let me ask you to kind of check your respective devices as we get settled in for the service. See if our devices are set to worship mode, either buzzy or silent. And I have a few notes for today. I'm just going to say, I think you should feel called, let's just say called, to come and join us in coffee hour after service today, because we have Girl Scout cookies. Yes, we have the Girl Scout cookies. There we go. All of the scouts who are part of the congregation kind of do a cooperative sale. Every scout gets a little bit of a share of the proceeds from the sale. So this benefits a lot. I think several. How many troops do we have represented? Five troops represented with this congregation. So you get to be supporting 5 different Girl Scout troops just with one cookie sale. So come and join us. It's not too late for a Valentine's gift. I'm just saying. This afternoon at 4 p.m. at United Presbyterian Church, we're having a social gathering amongst the congregations that are part of the Affirming Faith Coalition of Greater Peoria. This is a chance to, for 6th grade and up, bring a friend, get to know some other friends, and we try to be kind of mutually supportive of one another and have our youth provide a chance to do that as well. And if you have questions about that, you can come see me or Jesse Laughlin. Next Saturday, we have an opportunity for kind of finding ways that we can be participating in in the movement, in the activities of the day. Grassroots and Community Organizing 101, next Saturday, 10:30 a.m., offered by Nicholas Hall, to be a teach-in on how to build winning campaigns to change policy and change law through grassroots power. So come on and join us next Saturday morning. In 2 weeks, we have a special conversation with the Reverend Sharon Dittmar. We're calling this the story of us, the past, present, and the future. This is an opportunity to talk about, kind of get to know one another, get to know a little bit about what Unitarian Universalism looks like with this congregation, and also hear some stories about the past as well. And all is part of thinking what shall be taking us into the future. What is the horizon for which we are aiming? I really want to encourage everybody to come and be part of this conversation, because the conversation that happens is uniquely that of the people who gather. And I really want to hear what shows up from that. It's a potluck, so I want you to invite folks to sign up. There's childcare available, although children are also welcome to be in the conversation. And last week, I asked the prompt, what brought you to this church? What brought you to this church in the first place? Or if you're visiting for us for the first time, what brings you to this church? For this week, I want you to consider what keeps you coming back. What keeps you coming back? What keeps you connected here? And as we get ready to share stories and explore history with Reverend Sharon, I want to think about this. I invite you to think about this congregation's place in your life, in Peoria, and in our larger context of which we are a part. And you're welcome to send them to me directly or bring them on February 27th. And a last note for this morning, I want to say we unfortunately do not have our wonderful Sherry Seckler for our music this morning. She plays the organ, she plays the piano. She is recovering from a fall that she had yesterday. She's doing largely fine, but just not up to church this morning. So we have the benefit of some previous recordings from music from one of our prior pianists, Rosa Chang, be part of our service today. And you're all going to need to help me with the hymns. I'm just saying. We're going to get to sing out. Thank you. And now I invite us to please rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn, number 131, Love Will Guide Us. All right. Yes, please. All right. And I'm just going to say, whatever key I find is the key we're in. Just go with it. Thank you. We're making a joyful noise. All right. Love will guide us, peace at hope inside us, will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us, peace has guide us, hope inside us, will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. Thank you. Whew. And let me invite Dave Grebner forward for our opening words.
For this one moment, know only that you were loved, by Reverend Gretchen Haley. For this one moment, know only that you are loved, that you are safe and whole and loved. Know that you belong here, here among us, here upon this earth, in your body. However tired or broken your heart may be, whatever fear, disappointment, or anger you carry, for this hour, know you are not alone. Feel the presence of others surrounding you, breathing beside you and with you. Discovering together the way our voices rise and fall together in harmony, in hope. Claim here a resilient freedom, the choice for love, for light, to live with joy and gratitude and praise as a form of resistance. Come, let us worship together. Okay. No. Oh, you do?
Yep.
Okay. I don't need to read.
Nope. Okay. Let me invite the scouts forward for our chalice lighting, please.
In these hard times, let us look first to the response of love. In the midst of challenge, may our chalice flame bear witness to the inherent worth and dignity of every human being. In the midst of uncertainty, may our chalice be a beacon of encouragement that our values may guide our choices. Let us look first to the response of love.
Libby Roderick. Libby Roderick tells us, how could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. During our music for meditation, all are welcome to come forward, light candles, and make a small light that acknowledges what is with you and within you. And if you are online, I invite you to let these candles be for you as well. Let us enter into our music for meditation. As we enter into our time of sharing the joys and sorrows, I invite you to put hands on hearts, feel the heartbeat, that connection to life. Take a breath. Oh boy, do we need another breath in this world, don't we? Say to ourselves inside, I will love myself. I will love others. And that love can heal the world. I will love myself. I will love others, and that love can heal the world. In that spirit, we share the joys and sorrows of the congregation. First, I want to share a joy from yesterday, although it's been months in the making, is the Love Wins dinner. Was a sold out success. So, congratulations to the congregation on Love Wins. I want to thank folks who made it possible, the donors, the people who bought tickets, the volunteers, Katie Jones for the big idea and the big effort, Jesse Laughlin, who ran the kitchen amongst many other tasks. Oh my goodness, along with a lot of coordination, a lot of help along the way. It was a pleasure to partner with Central Illinois Friends, host some of their staff with us, and support them with proceeds from the dessert table. And I'm going to say that the dancing we enjoyed was a treat as well. It really was such an excellent and well done evening. I want to offer an affirmation for the efforts of the students in area schools to exercise their First Amendment rights and protest against there we go. And protest against the cruelty and deadly violence of federal immigration agents. Richwoods and Dunlap High School students protested against ICE on Friday. I had the pleasure of going to the Richwoods event and to support the students and to be an observer. Hundreds, let me just say, hundreds of youth walked, chanted, expressed their outrage, and were generally pretty positive in their spirit. The news coverage didn't seem to capture all of that, but boy, I'm going to tell you it was there. And I also want to thank the Peoria Police and the school administration for addressing the safety of the students and traffic. I mean, think about managing the flow of hundreds of people and their passionate teenagers. I'm just saying. It went pretty darn well. And other area schools will be doing some similar events in the coming weeks. Donna Dalrymple and Lynn Mayer asked for healing prayers on behalf of two of their friends. Their friend Bethany was hospitalized for diabetes, and their friend Sarah was hospitalized for a bleeding disorder. Sarah also has diabetes. So let us offer our hope and care that Bethany and Sarah receive the care that they need as they manage such serious health concerns. In our larger world, I want to offer congratulations to those who fought for the return of the rainbow flag to the Stonewall Memorial and Monument in New York City. The ridiculousness of thinking you can take away that rainbow when I almost don't even have words. I almost don't even have words. What do you mean you're taking away the rainbow from the Stonewall Monument? The one that was that moment that kicked off in 1969, the 68, the beginnings of the modern gay rights movement. Congratulations to all who advocated, stood up, and made it happen. Also in our larger kind of religious and cultural calendar, we have the convergence of three major events this week. If you are an astrologer, an astronomer, you might think about this, you might already know this. Ramadan in the Muslim tradition, Lent in the Christian tradition, and the Lunar New Year all begin this week. Watch out. There's a lot of energy running around, just going to say. For Lent, this is a time of restraint and reflection. Pope Leo XIV recommended this. Let us begin by disarming our language, avoiding harsh words and rash judgment, refraining from slander and speaking ill of those who are not present and cannot defend themselves. Instead, let us strive to measure our words and cultivate kindness and respect. If he says, if we do so, we will let words of hatred give way to words of hope and peace. And in Lunar New Year, honored by many peoples around the world, it is the year of the fire horse, as I understand it, which symbolizes freedom, courage, and swift progress. That sounds pretty good. Let me close on that with a note from the Muslim practice. For Ramadan, when a Muslim says, "Peace be with you," they are also saying, "Justice be with you, mercy be with you, compassion be with you, love be with you, and God be with you." I invite us to hold one more moment together, for in our circle we have room for all the names, all the milestones, all the joys and sorrows that are among us, that are around us. Our circle ever expands to hold all that is with us. Let us share one more moment in quiet and breathe. Shalom, salam, amen, and blessed be. Now I invite Jesse Laughlin forward for our story.
Our story today is a part story and part meditation. So let's see what these words and pictures show to you. Who I Am, Words I Tell Myself by Susan Verde. They're not in the drive? That's exciting. I've been a little busy, friends. Okay. So, our story today is about the words that we tell ourselves. Sometimes our brains start to think things that maybe aren't true. They might have messages for us that feel ouchy and sad. Has that ever happened to anyone? Happens to me. But we can hear those words and turn them around. If your brain is telling you that you are not enough, you don't have to believe them. You can breathe deeply and take time to find what is true. And when I say the truth to myself, that other voice gets quieter. It's with these words that I describe who the real me is, in fact. If I'm sad or angry or worried, I can tell myself, I am human. I am allowed to feel these things. My mind might say, don't tell other people about your worries. But I can tell myself, everyone has worries. It helps to share them. My mind might tell me it'll always be like this, but I can say no. Things will get better. My mind might say, making mistakes is terrible. I shouldn't do that. But I can tell myself, I am always learning, and mistakes help me grow. My mind might tell me that I can't do something, but I can say, yes, I can. I can tell myself, I am thoughtful, I am kind, I am loving. I can silence the voice that is not the truth. Anytime, anywhere, when I speak to myself with love and encouragement, these are the real truth. That is the real me. All of us can choose the words we tell ourselves, and we get to pick those words. This is who we all are. I wonder what words you can tell yourself right now, later today, before bed. I wonder how we can change the messages we share. I invite all the kids and volunteers to join me in religious education. Oh, there's no music.
His Spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the Spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. I so appreciate how church is created by how we show up for each other, with each other. When things don't go quite to plan, that shows up especially true. We were able to make this moment and be responsive to one another, be responsive to whatever shows up, because we are willing to offer a bit of ourselves, to offer a bit of our lives and our resources and our time and our skills, and yes, indeed, also our money. And many of us make a regular financial commitment to the congregation through what we call a pledge. and this is enormously helpful. And we also set aside a time during the service to receive the offering. This is a chance to be intentional and thoughtful with our giving on a regular basis. We also share a portion of our gifts out into the community with our Share the Plate practice. Half of the undesignated plate goes to our monthly recipient doing good work in our area. And for this month, our Share the Plate recipient is Peoria Proud. Peoria Proud supports diversity and equity throughout the greater Peoria area. It creates safe spaces for the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, questioning, intersex, asexual plus community, including hosting River City Pride Festival, advocating for legislation, sometimes being part of the local parades like the Morton Pumpkin Parade, and so much more. And really, regularly, consistently trying to create safe places and celebratory places in our community. So with the envelopes in the pews or with the QR code, please indicate the use of your donation. If you use the envelopes in the pews and are putting in cash, please put your name. And if the contribution is towards a pledge, we want to make sure to give credit where credit is due. And now I want to thank folks for all of the gifts as they appear in so many places and invite the ushers to please come forward. Our first reading today is from a blog post by Elizabeth Gilbert, author of Eat, Pray, Love, and other books. And she says, "To condemn yourself as unlovable is to swallow a terrible lie. And to believe that you must earn love through perfectionism, that you must seek love from others in order to become whole, turns all of us into hungry beggars. I believe there is an ocean of warm, affectionate, and outrageously unconditional love available to us all, and that it is conveniently accessible from within. I don't believe anyone is excluded from this ocean of love. It is only a question of learning how to hear it, how to feel it, and how to trust it." Second reading is from the Reverend Jen Crow, one of our Unitarian Universalist ministers, in her book, Take What You Need. And she says, love can work its way into improbable and impossible situations. Like water over stone, it has the potential to wear down our suffering, create new pathways of possibility, and support life in inhospitable terrain. Love can't fix every situation, but it does have a way of working on us, opening portals to our closed hearts. Love keeps us company, settling in beside the unlikely good or the unlikely bad that comes our way. Here ends the readings. I really wanted to spend a little moment on not just on love, but on self-love in this time. So I'm curious, think amongst yourselves. What were your first messages about how to feel about yourself? Just think about that. What were your first messages about how to feel about yourself? Did those first messages include affirmation, respect, love? Were there other messages not so affirming? There was an early narrative I heard about love that kind of sticks with me. It's from the Beatles. Yes, it is. All you need is love. All right. All you need is love. Ba, 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 da, da. All you need is love. Ba, 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 da, da. Right? All you need is love, love. Love is all you need. And it's not just the refrain, which goes again and again and again. And I so appreciate they're like, we're going to sing until it gets into you. I mean, that's really what they're doing, right? But also a little bit in the lyrics. Nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time. Nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time. And nowhere you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. Nowhere you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. All you need is love. We are in the middle of a profound public conversation about love. Global, national, personal, all the levels. We are in a moment when consideration around how we treat each other has profound implications around human rights. It has profound implications for how we understand ourselves individually, but also what our children absorb about who is and isn't worthy of care and respect and dignity. All right, so let me ask, who saw the Super Bowl halftime show with Bad Bunny? If you didn't watch it then, did you watch it since? Because it was like the thing to talk about. Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio. And his creation, his performance that was an affirmation of culture and history and diversity and expression. And there's nothing more powerful than love. Nothing more powerful than love. And he conveyed this all in his Caribbean Spanish. He displayed the culture that he grew up in, the resources, the people determined to make a life in the working of the sugarcane fields, into taking care of the utilities when they went out because the US doesn't seem to give a care. All of their work, the everyday life centered in mutual support, and how it has endured amid centuries of colonization, oppression, insufficient infrastructure, lack of a say in government, and people being pushed out and preyed upon by those with money and influence. I happened to catch the teaser trailer before the game, the teaser for this production before the game, and it was about people dancing in a field, all ages, all races, all bodies. And the show itself affirmed a wide range of how humans appear at home, at work, and in celebration in their daily lives. Benito spent also, so it wasn't just about performance and music, it also was about so many layers of connecting and message. He spent precious airtime of the 13 minutes he had to speak directly to the camera, directly to each of us, and said again and again, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. You are beautiful and remarkable and should have the freedom to dream. No wonder some people were shook. No, not liberation, not freedom, not independence, not thoughtfulness. We happen to have this other overlapping event in the last month or so, last several couple weeks. This walk for peace. The Buddhist monks located in Fort Worth made their trek from Fort Worth to Washington, D.C., walking all the way, the walk for peace with their beloved peace dog. They themselves were powerful and radiant in compassion with every encounter, every person, every being. If you're on social media, you might have happened to catch the reels or the live feeds of the monks walking and being greeted, being given flowers, and how the monks responded to everyone with peacefulness, with a smile, with care. I know I felt a certain ease and a certain relief wash over me every time I happened to catch one of those feeds. These orange road figures, the slight smiles, the constant effort and care with every step they took. In this moment, we are also witnessing the public examination of the Epstein files, millions of documents that reveal how people in power related to one another, connected, bargained, supported, how they encouraged the pursuit of some of the worst offenses against the most vulnerable people, committed profound violations against body, mind, and spirit, showed no regard for humanity or for dignity, the casual dismissing of every person they harmed for the sake of appetite. This information impacts many of us who have had such violence in our own lives. I want to just recognize that. The network that supported this is vast. It is vast. And the work of countering the devastation and securing some measure of justice is just beyond count, practically beyond conception. The privilege itself is enraging, heartbreaking, and this week, one of the images I noted was the group of survivors who were standing in the chamber when Attorney General Bondi was being questioned. Most of the survivors were not looking at her, but a few were looking at her, and oh, they were fierce. I will not forget that. They were present and defiant and alive. One of our most powerful acts, dare I say it, one of our superpowers, is the ability to claim love, including for ourselves. In Unitarian Universalism, we talk about love at the center, and this is not mere sentiment. This is not, I love a Valentine, got a few, really enjoyed them, and some chocolate. We love a good love language of chocolate. And the kind of love we're talking about is one that really is grounded at the center of all being, is part of what connects each and every one of us, that connects our entire world, that takes us beyond ourselves. I took a note from Valerie Carr, the sick teacher. And she talks about love, something beyond sentiment, that love is more than a rush of feeling. It is when we consider our deepest relationships. Love is what you do for each other, how we care for each other. It is a life-giving force. It is a life-giving activity, because it's a choice we make again and again. It is demanding. It is fierce in itself. It is, in fact, a kind of labor. She calls it a sweet labor, however imperfect it might be. But it is what we do for each other again and again, because we understand what is most important and we act on it. It contains, because it's an action, it's a choice in so many forms, it is full of all of our emotions. It's not just one emotion of a loving love. It is all of our emotions involved with action. It is the grief that is the price of love. It is the anger that is the force of love. We harness into living our values to protect what matters most. And when we choose to love beyond what evolution requires, she calls that revolutionary love. When we choose to act and care beyond what evolution requires, we engage with a revolutionary love, the choice to look upon anyone, including ourselves, as worthy, as valuable, as part and parcel of one another. In Unitarian Universalism, we recognize how justice is love in action, as Cornel West says. And we recognize that all the way up into the greatness and all the way down into the smallest increment, our own hearts. We recognize how we are powerful and precious and worthy and not alone. And that we have access to love all around us. This is part of our universal understanding. This is present in all things. Our constant task is to access. It is a power we can tap into, but it also seems to be a constant work to access, understand ourselves as worthy from so many, to fight against the messages that tell us that we are unworthy, that we are not lovable, that we are not enough, that we only are the value of what we produce and what we serve. Whether we hear that from family or friends or advertising or institutions, this is our constant work. One of the ways that shows up in our work is the understanding of shame and guilt. Brene Brown, Texas researcher, sociologist, has quantified data around human feelings and self-understanding. She's especially known for her work of vulnerability and courage. She talks about shame and guilt. And for guilt, that's when we make a mistake, when we do something that has a negative effect when sometimes we even choose to go against our values for whatever reason, justify something and realize that was a bad choice. But then also guilt is when we resolve guilt or address it by addressing that impact, how we do or don't follow up. Now, shame, on the other hand, is that intensely painful feeling or experience of believing we are flawed and therefore unworthy of love and belonging. So, shame is when we believe we are unworthy. So, guilt is when we make a mistake. Shame is when we feel we are a mistake. Now, with guilt, after the error, after the harm, then we get to consider what is our response? What is our responsibility? What is the path to take care of those relationships? It can be productive. It's not great, but it can be productive. Now, with shame is if one is feeling like one is the mistake. And that's the experience of feeling inherently unworthy and that there is no possibility of repair because something about us is damaged permanently, that we don't have the right to hope and love. It's not productive. We get stuck. And, and I was reminded that one of the things we are actually not taught is how to address shame. We're more taught to hold on to the feelings inside, let them amplify and fester and leave us fearful. But Brene Brown and many others in Unitarian Universalism, this is partially why we're constantly talking about being worthy of love. And you don't have to qualify. You're already here. Each of us has a right to be here because we are here. In all of our flaws, in all of our complexity, and all of our joy. And as Unitarian Universalists, we recognize that we have the possibility to keep evolving in that experience, that we have an opportunity and a call to grow, to learn again and again if we need to learn it again, because usually we do, that we are in fact loved as well. That there is room for us, the wholeness of each of us. We honor the inherent worth of every person, how profoundly we are connected, how much we center on the search for truth and meaning in all things, and that love is present in all things, including us. As the Beatles say, all you need is love. You can learn how to be you. You will be where you are meant to be. All you need is love. As I was putting together this moment and recognizing some of the hardships which really challenge our understanding of love and respect for ourselves, it also struck me that we're kind of in this glorious era of affirmation. We're in this glorious era of affirmation. People have been working so hard and so long and doing such powerful work on caring for the body and the self, on advocating for an understanding of radical love that's in our stories, that's in our toys, that's in books, that's in music. Have you taken a minute recently to see the number of children's books that celebrate the self? We have the wonderful problem of being able to choose only one for worship. I mean, this really just struck me in the course of putting things together late that we have this fantastic pool of resources from people who have said, I didn't have this, I'm going to make sure this exists. So that fewer children have to feel like they are not okay. We saw this last week in the halftime show from Bad Bunny. Uh, it featured certainly mainly beautiful, able-bodied people, but also it featured a range of skin color, hair, work, same gender dancing that really freaked out some people. I'm just saying. Go back and watch. You're like, oh, that's what people were bothered about. And they were fine. That people have a right to joy and expression and possibility. This was all the liberating work of love, and we saw it on the biggest stage in the world. And he did it so that we could take it in together. It was a profound and powerful chance to say to each other, I love you, I see you, the fullness of you has a right to be here, to be cherished, and to be known. What powerful work might come from a practice of love, of accepting it in its capacity in our lives, how we might counter the messages we receive as individuals against the injustices of the world. That love is the hourly practice of the people in Minneapolis. It fuels the dismantling of bias and racism, ableism, sexism, homophobia, and so much more. It is a liberating, revolutionary love always. And if you're needing a personal practice, if you want one more way to connect this with the personal, I appreciate Elizabeth Gilbert and her work, Letters from Love. She says, I believe there is an ocean of warm, affectionate, and outrageously unconditional love available to us all, and that is conveniently accessible from within. I don't believe anyone is excluded from this ocean of love. It is a question of learning how to hear it, how to feel it, and how to trust it. And so for over 25 years, Elizabeth Gilbert has had this practice of asking love and writing a letter. To say to love, what would you have me know today? So she invites folks to sit quietly with a journal, with paper, with pen, and say, Dear love, what would you have me know today? And allow that answer to come. What would that spirit of unconditional, revolutionary love tell you if it had a voice, if it could show up in a little writing? And it can acknowledge suffering, it can acknowledge struggle, it can acknowledge harm. What does your spirit need? Think of it as writing and talking with a beloved friend, because love is that beloved, deep friend. And you don't have to overthink. I don't know anybody who overthinks a thing, right? No. Nope. But don't overthink. There we go. Don't think of an elephant. Don't overthink the overthinking. But give yourself permission to just flow and write and see what shows up. This is not about being gifted or showing off anything. This is meant to simply see what emerges. And it can be hard to tamp down the negative voices that are with us all the time. Think about how easy it is to hold the negative voices that pick at you. I gotta say, sometimes those voices feel like they're really free range, especially at night when I should be sleeping. Anybody else got that? 4:30, yeah, 4:30 in the morning. Would that it was 4:30, I'm just saying. So with that kind of voice, instead of shutting it down, kind of pushing it and forcing it, maybe bullying those voices down, maybe instead fill your attention with an answer from love. I think that's what Elizabeth Gilbert is trying to encourage us to do. Fill your attention with an answer from love. Critical voices are going to be there, but we get to choose where our energy goes, right? And give ourselves permission to love ourselves. There's so many days when I could have used a love note from love. I'd been aware of this practice earlier, a way to encounter doubt, failure when faced with say, an overwhelming day of parenting. I know for myself, or early in ministry, frankly, when anytime someone's angry at me, oh, I like to make people happy. Don't be angry at me. Any of those moments, or during the pandemic, when experiencing that deep fear and isolation, not knowing how we would get through, and being even more alone in the moment of that experience. In this time, the message from love can be a conversation to affirm our humanity, our agency, our ability to speak and act and advocate, and to care and receive care. That simply caring for one another is itself a revolutionary act of love. We can have that conversation in those kind of letters as well. For my colleague, the Reverend Sarah Lindsay, sometimes it can be hard to remember to love ourselves, but you, just as you are a unique, wonderful being that has so much love to give and is so loved. Close with her words. May we continue to cultivate the deep knowledge of our own worth. May we come into soulful understanding of our own loveliness. May we know our own beauty even when others demean us. May we have the strength to love ourselves and be committed to living more honest and truest lives as forces of compassion and kindness and gentleness. So may it be. Amen. I invite you to rise in body or spirit and join us for our closing hymn number 118, This Little Light of Mine. Lyrics are up on the slide. All right, folks. We clap on the 2 and the 4, not the 1 and the 3. We're going. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Good morning. Craig Rowland offers some advice for what Jennifer has so kindly put forward tonight, or this morning. Let that be the circle. He gives advice. As we extinguish this flame, may we carry its warmth into the world, not as a memory, but as a promise that you deserve, a place where your voice matters, where your laughter is treasured, and your silence is honored. You deserve a circle that sees your scars and your strengths, your doubles, your doubts, and your radiance, and holds them all with care. Let that be that circle for one another, a community of fierce welcome, wild grace, and radical hope. Go knowing you belong here. You always have.
And here may you know that you are lovable and that indeed you are loved. And may you carry that love out into the world as a blessing. Our worship is ended. Let our service begin.